Good morning. Welcome to the regular open meeting of the United Laguna Woods Board of Directors, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. Today is Tuesday, May 12th. It is 9:32 to be exact. We are now going to call this meeting to order, and we definitely have a quorum. Kathy, I think you're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Do we have any media on board? No media. Might be online, but we don't see that right now, so that's okay. We're going to get an approval of the agenda. Before we do that, we do have one little change I know of. We're going to move item 10B. It's in the consent calendar. We're going to move that over to 12B.
So it's going to be a 10B2, number 2.
10D2.
10 Bravo, number 2. 10B2.
Okay,
And we're going to move that down to item 12B in new business.
got it.
and next moving 12.
Moving it to 12B. So 10B2 to 12B. Okay. And is there anybody else have any changes or on the agenda? Kathy?
On the, unless something changed, you had mentioned that we move the committee assignments from this month to next month.
I
Did you
think
want
we're
to
gonna
still
approve
do that?
We've got them set, don't we, Paul, the committee assignments?
I think we're good for now. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we
Okay.
can make an update next month as well.
Yeah, because a new person coming on
Correct,
board.
yes.
So let's leave it like it is right now.
So it's not on here? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Maggie?
I move the amended agenda.
Second? Second, okay. Anybody opposed? Yes?
Sure, I second.
Well, yeah, they did, but that's okay.
You're looking at me.
You had your hand up.
I was counting.
Ah, okay. All right, that passes. The agenda's good. All right. Now we need to get an approval of the meeting minutes for April 14th and April 23rd. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept them.
Second?
Second.
Maggie, second. Any opposition? None. Okay, that's passed. Thank you. Okay. Report of the chair. We have a lot to do today. Okay, we're going to keep everything going as fast. We're going to keep our time limits. When it gets down, if there's questions and answers, we're going to be limited to 2 questions ourselves. Okay, and that's only after everybody's gone around. Okay, and we're going to keep the timer on going forward. Okay, other than that, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead. Laundry room. We have an update. You get to go on first. You don't have to wait.
Good morning, everyone. So this morning we wanted to bring to you an update on a pilot program that the Board of Directors wanted to implement, and that is for laundry appliance apps in a select number of laundry rooms. Now this is to bring in, get rid of the coin counting and bring in electronic payments, and I'll walk through some of the items here. And so the company's name that the Board of Directors is in discussions with right now is called Wash. They're a multi-family laundry service, and they're in discussions for a 12-month pilot program. The primary focus is transitioning laundry rooms to 100% digital payment, which means no coin collections under this new model. The pilot area that has been decided on is inside of the Gate 3 area, 7 cul-de-sacs, which are cul-de-sacs 9 and 62 through 67. That includes 14 laundry rooms in total in this area. If you go to the next, oh, there it is. You can see here, this area is along Avenida Mayorga, in between Gate 3 and Avenida Sevilla and the Lower Aliso Creek. Some of the member benefits and changes with this pilot program includes the new electronic payment on Speed Queen machines. And residents would be able to contact WASH directly for maintenance services or any payment issues that may arise. Residents pay directly from either a cell phone app, or the laundry rooms will come equipped with kiosks that allow residents to purchase prepaid cards, and that's how they would then pay for laundry services in those areas. There are some pricing changes for washing and drying loads. Currently, everybody in United pays $1 for a wash and $0 for a dryer. Under this new model, because it's going to be electronic for both the washers and the dryers, it would be 75 cents for a wash and 75 cents for a dry per load. Here we have some of the company's service models. Expert installation, they have trained technicians to install all the equipment and also to manage it. Whenever you use your cell phone for anything, you can get service alerts, automatic notifications when you request service, and the company will communicate directly with you through the app. 24 to 48 hour response times. The service techs will be here within 24 to 48 business hours, which is fairly regular in this type of application. The average response time is about 24 hours. And what's good for the board is the real-time reporting. The board will be able to see in an online portal for vendor oversight, service histories, revenue trends, so on. The emergency response is a dedicated team for gas leaks, floods, and electrical emergencies, and they have a 95% first-time fix rate. Here's some of the digital payment options that I mentioned earlier. You have the Wash Connect mobile app, which is paying directly from the smartphone. No account is required to do that, to request service. You're able to view machine availability in real time. So if you're in your manor and you want to know, hey, can I go over here and wash? Am I going to be able to get in there right now? And you'll be able to look and see, absolutely, there's 2 washers available at this moment. We'll be able to see via the dashboard the cycle count alerts, and also the residents will be able to submit refund requests directly in the app if there's ever a problem. So they won't have to call resident services for any problems in those areas, or they won't have to come down to resident services to say, hey, it ate my money, I need my $1 back. The reloadable cards in the kiosks, these are for residents who don't have or choose not to utilize their smartphones. You can load a value directly onto a card at these kiosks, and it'll give you the card. This has contactless card payments at the machine. It's accessible and easy to use, and it's also PCI compliant. Just to break that down a little bit, that is PCI compliance is basically the payment card industry is what that stands for, and there's a very specific compliance models that they have to meet to be able to have a license to do this type of business. So you'll see on the left-hand side here, you can, the different ways that you can get help. You have the 800 number to call the company through the WASH app on wash.com. And then you'll get auto notifications if you utilize your cell phone. You'll be able to get those in real time as things change, repairs are done that you have submitted for. You'll be able to see those in real time. The transition plan, and of course this is still being discussed in closed session and with legal counsel, but the tentative transition plan is the pre-installation site assessment at each cul-de-sac location. Now that's already been done. Number one is done. We've already done those site assessments. We know what machines need to go and what machines can stay and be converted over to the contact and card payments. Number two, the compatible Speed Queen units, which we already discussed, will be retrofitted with the digital payment hardware. Non-compatible machines, which are the older Maytag, GE, those types of machines that are in there, those are not compliant. Those will be removed, and the company will bring in their own machines. Once this gets closer, there will be more resident communication distributed before the go live. Real-time tracking and reporting active through the client portal at launch. And then the program assessment at the end of the 12-month pilot period. And we'll be able to sit down and go over some reports at the end of that and see everything that, all of the benefits that this program has to offer. And that concludes the presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, thank you, Ian, for this presentation. Very helpful. I just want to make one observation, and you can comment on it. It seems to me this pilot is very important because it's going to allow us to replace small load, old machines, washers and dryers, with more modern, Speed Queen, large load, commercial washers and dryers. So that means we can put more in the machine. It's more reliable. It's doing the work better and faster. And therefore, increasing the cost from $1 to $1.50 is actually not that much because you are able to have a larger load in the machine as opposed to those old Maytags and others that are a much smaller load, and then you're still paying $1 for it. So all in all, I think from an economic perspective, I think it's a better deal. We're getting better machines, Speed Queens, that are the standard, and they're larger loads, so you get more for your buck. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have one question. Yeah, so does Kathy. Kathy was next. But I had a question too. The kiosks that are going to give you the card or charge your phone or whatever it is there on site, are there going to be in every laundry room also? Or is it special kiosks will have that to do that? How's that work?
That's a great question. Those kiosks will be in each laundry room.
Oh, good. Because at first I thought they were going to be. Okay, thank you. Kathy, then Elsie.
The only question I have, and I know it was brought up last month, on the dryer where the cost is going to be 75 cents, what is the time that it's going to be set at? Because currently it's unlimited, and when you do towels or rugs or whatnot, you can utilize the dryer for an hour, hour and 20 minutes to make certain everything is dry. With the set dollar amount, what is the set dryer time?
There is no set dryer time at this moment. Those are still part of the ongoing negotiations, and those are items that the board can direct what they want to see for each load.
Thank you.
Okay. Elsie, please.
Well, the current time is 40 minutes. Do you expect it to be less?
I have no expectation. The board will say this is what we want.
Okay.
Elsie.
It will actually go for much longer than 40 minutes at this point. Do you hang out in the laundry rooms much? Yeah, thank you. Also, I'd like to point out that we're already VMS is already substituting as machines wear out. We have big, beautiful Speed Queens now
Yes.
in our. So I just wanted to point that out, that as they're replacing them with the big Speed Queen. But the real question I have is, now it's whatever you said the prices are. How about in the future? What does the contract say about upping the prices at the end of the
End of the
test
year.
period?
There is no language on a price increase. The board and the company can negotiate at the end of the pilot program for any increases they may want to see. As it is right now, the 75 and 75 is still getting. They're still making their money that they need to make right now. However, there's just little to no return to the corporation as it stands, and to United Mutual.
Tony?
Yeah, I hate to be so mundane, but do we know what their end is on this deal? How much are they making?
That was not part of any of the conversations.
Okay, because when it comes time to renegotiate, it'll be something we should be aware of, what their end is. Thank you.
Kathy?
This will be my last question. While they are collecting the money, the $1.50 for the wash and for the dry, none of that money is coming back to the association. So we, in essence, would still be paying all of the electric bill for all of these dryers. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Jonathan?
Good morning. Thank you so much. Appreciate the information. Since I have no experience with the public washer and dryer at this village, you mentioned during your report that there is a detection device for the gas. Is there a gas involved with these dryers?
No, there's no gas in the mutual. That's just part of their equipment and their emergency response that they are able to do, but it does not pertain.
Okay. Just wanted to double check that. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Oh, I see two hands. Well, you need to, he's going to go.
All right, I have a couple of questions. Thank you, Ian. I know you've been working very hard on this program, and we appreciate it. I believe that there's going to be a study about what our washers and dryers should cost, and that's internally going on right now. And so I would expect that price needs to go up for all our washers and dryers, because we've got to recapture more of the water and the electrical expenses. So going up 50 cents does not seem like much of a hardship to me. And because we will probably be raising everything, is my understanding. And then when we had talked about this earlier, Third was going to do this as well, and Third has decided that they want to keep things as is. But we had talked about possibly saving staff. And I would like to see if we're able to do that on our side, transfer some of those people to like plasters, something like that. I know when Catherine Laster mentioned that she was receiving complaints about the speed in which people can come in and do their walls. And she's told one individual that there were 60 ahead of her. So while this is a pilot program for laundry, I hope it has benefit in the fact that our people are not going to be working in that area. Perhaps we could point them in another area. Just a hope.
We take that under advisement, but please, let's not talk about personnel in an open meeting.
Oh, all right. Okay.
All right, Paul?
Okay.
We have one member comment, Richard Rader.
Good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Dick Rader, 270D. Two things. One is, what happens if a machine floods? Who bears the cost? Second thing is, you were talking about the cost and mentioned that we may have to increase the cost because we need to capture, electric and water. But I can quite tell you, I attended those initial statements by the company, and in their presentation, they gave us an idea of what it will cost. The 75 cents is nowhere near. Don't consider it's going to be in that ballpark. Just go to a laundry outside and find out what it is. Or you can ask the company, because they did give us figures as to what it could be at that time.
Thank you.
We have one more member comment. Roberta Burke.
I just have a question, and forgive me, I was late, if it was answered already, but I'm wondering if any study was really done to see what portion of our community uses those machines, because most people that I know that have moved in when I did, and certainly now, are putting in their own machines. Do we have an answer to that?
I'll ask Ian to please come up.
That's a great question, and yes, we are able to see the level of coins that are spent in different laundry rooms, and this area is one of the more used areas. So this will give us a good look into what the pilot program could really be. Mr. Rader also had a question
Right.
about the
Flooding.
flooding, and that would still be the mutual's responsibility if there's any flooding.
Okay, all right. Paul?
So we actually have Cynthia Rupert online as well. Give me 1 second to pull her up.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cynthia. Cynthia, go ahead.
Are you on mute, Cynthia?
Let me try to ask her to unmute herself.
Pardon me, I was trying to hit the button about 10 times. It didn't like my finger. Good morning, everyone, honorable board and all staff there. Ian, thank you. I have just a couple questions. One, the dryers that right now are not being charged. Do we have any idea based on, I don't know, electricity or some kind of idea of how much the dryers get used, how much time is being used on the dryers, what's the lifespan of those dryers that we're currently using and the relationship there?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, please.
So it's assumed that the dryers are used one cycle per wash. The extent of the time being used, we do not have a look into that because, again, these are, they're listed as commercial, but as we all know, they're not very commercial machines, and so they have very limited capabilities to them. Currently, the mutual's policy for laundry life cycle is 15 years.
Okay, and when you say that your guys are using an assumption of one cycle, so one wash, one dryer, do we know that that's valid? Has there been any study to say that that's what's happening? I mean, is there anybody checking any of this to make sure that the figures that are being produced here are valid for what's actually happening?
Yes, so the best way to answer that question is the washers in United have cycle counts and have coins that we collect out of them. And that's how we know how many cycles the washing machines are used. Because the dryers are non-charged and they don't have cycle counts on them, aside from having a person sit there and count every single cycle that a dryer is used, there is no way to actually tell, and only an assumption can be used for this particular analysis.
Ian, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree with you on that one, because I think it wouldn't be amiss to think about maybe having somebody periodically go and sit and see what's actually happening in these laundry rooms to get some real values here, because all these figures, if they're based on assumption, it's kind of, it leaves me uncomfortable. And I'll leave it with that.
Okay, well, we are working with a very experienced company here. And I'm sure that the people involved are taking these locations serious. There's no timer or cycle, if you want to count, on the dryers, because there are people just using the dryers. So this way, we are going to cap that a little bit too. So I think, any last questions? Elsie?
Yeah, I wasn't around when this started. Sorry about that. And good job, incidentally. You've
Yes.
been great with your explanations and your timeliness, and I know you've got a difficult row to hoe. But that being said, so forgive me if this has been asked and answered, but in the beginning, was there ever any kind of an analysis about how much it costs us and how much the mutual supplements? So that was done, because now we're getting all the money, right? And we have all the expense. So we did.
Right.
And this is cheaper, I guess? And you're doing your job. This is cheaper?
Wash is 25 cents cheaper? Okay.
No, I don't mean that. I mean to the mutual.
To the mutual?
Yeah.
This is not costing us nothing right now to do this program.
No, we don't have the program yet.
Well, the pilot.
Right. I'm sorry. The function of the laundry rooms, it's an amenity like any other
Right.
amenity.
Right.
Right? So I just wondered why did we consider adjusting the price on the current amenity to the consumer? Did we consider that? Like where we needed to be?
I haven't.
Our
Shafan?
financial services department is looking at the cost of laundry services and what it may be being subsidized by each of the mutuals, and that is coming back to the board later this summer. So we are looking at that.
Thank you.
All right. Sue?
Mr. President, I think one of the things that we need to keep in mind is that we will be giving up some of our washers and dryers. And should we decide not to go forward with that, that will be a cost incurred in replacing those. But we have been moving toward replacement for quite some time. So I don't see that as too much of a risk, but you should be aware of it, that should we not go forward. Now, one of the reasons that we wanted to do this when this started several years ago was that we were trying to get out of the cost of buying washers and dryers and having multiple staff go out and pick up the money, do the repairs, or we were having troubles getting the circuits to do the replacements. Some of that's been fixed, and now it's just a matter of, do we want to stick with the plan of, outsourcing this and targeting our staff out elsewhere?
All right. Any other questions?
Is my understanding.
Anthony?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What's the revenue that we haul in every year from these washers? What kind of revenue do we have? 20,000, 200,000?
Right now, although it does show as revenue, it also shows as an expense. There is a subsidy, the program is subsidized as it stands right now. About 50% of the program is subsidized.
Okay, what kind of numbers are we talking about?
I don't have those numbers off the top of my head right now, but I believe this is something that can be brought back to the board. And it may be a good question for the Finance Committee.
All right. Well, Ann, thank you so much. That was a good report. It's good to be updated like this. Thank you again.
Thank you all.
Elsie, you had something else?
It's on the pie chart every month.
Oh, the laundry room? It is, isn't it?
No, the laundry,
I'm saying, so we'll hear it in our financial report.
okay.
All right. Good catch. All right, we're now going to go to the open forum. Okay. You have 3 minutes to speak, and I'll go ahead and read this. At this time, the members may address the Board of Directors regarding items not on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the Board of Directors. The board reserves the right to limit the total amount of time to the open forum to 30 minutes. Member may speak only once during the forum. Speakers may not give their time to other people. No audio or video recording by attendees, and no rude or threatening comments. Members can also join this meeting for Zoom or dial in. All right, we'll open this up.
Okay, we have quite a few today. First speaker is Juanita Skillman.
Good morning, Juanita.
Good morning. I'm here with your monthly library report and a plea as well. Volunteers worked 730 hours to support 2,063 visitors in April. 2,255 items circulated through the front desk, and 41 residents were added to our catalog, our circulation software. What we have decided at our monthly supervisors meeting is that we are going to enhance our children's section. We call it the red dot section. Right now it's kind of hidden. We have quite a few books and tape, DVDs and puzzles, especially for children. But with summer coming up, we think there's going to be more visitors, children visiting grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever. Right now, I'm the only supervisor on Saturday that sees many children because they come in on weekends. But we think that will change in the summer. We have a very nice grant, thank you to the Kiwanis Club, to help us subsidize this. We are improving the amount of books that we have. We've got some new sets of different books for each different age grouping, and they're going to be moved up to the very front with a little seating area for children. And it's a test. We're trying it for the summer. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully we will be able to help grandparents, parents, other people who have visitors during the summer to have things for their children to do of all different ages. This goes all the way up through teenagers. Secondly, we are expanding our games. A lot of people don't know that we have games that can be checked out just like your puzzles or whatever. So if you don't want or want to have people over and play Monopoly or one of the other games, you're welcome to check it out and then bring it back so that you don't have to have it around your unit where you don't have any storage space. And by the same token, if you have games that you're not using, we would love to have you donate them to the library, and we will put them into our game section for people to check out. So children's books, children's items, and games are our plea for this month. And we thank everybody for all of the donations that we get as a private library. That's what keeps us going. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for volunteering on that.
Next speaker is Beth Perrock.
Good morning. Beth Perrock, 3321C. I'm here on behalf of the History Center. I'm going to share a glimpse with you regarding the foundation of our village, which is actually the vision of the founder, Ross Cortese. Mr. Cortese was the builder who had completed building 55-plus communities, and then he was able to bargain with Nellie Gale Moulton for 22 prime acres. And so he thought, I need to find out what people that are older really need in a community. So he went to the newly formed gerontology department at USC, and they researched the question, and the faculty and Cortese came up with the answer, and the answer became his vision. And the vision was Leisure World would present a total way of life in which religion, medical care, and recreation were included. Religion, he addressed religion by deeding property to any church that had 100 members and could promise that they would start construction within 2 years. Many churches accepted the offer, and they are still thriving in our village today. Also today, a variety of denominations enjoy services and activities in our clubhouses. Medical care. Cortese provided a medical care unit in Clubhouse 1, housed by a registered nurse and staff who provided non-emergency medical care. In addition, he provided property for medical and dental facilities as well as a hospital. These facilities serve residents today, and of course, we all know Saddleback Memorial Hospital partners in service to many of our village groups today. Memorial Care has been the sponsor of the Breeze since its beginning. We all remember Memorial Care provided vaccinations to all of our residents during COVID. Recreation, Clubhouse 1 with a large dining, dance hall, pool, bocce ball, meeting rooms for clubs, and a number of other attractions was the first of many clubhouses. Equestrian Center, tennis courts, and golf offered many possible opportunities for recreation. Today, our 7 clubhouses each offer a plethora of unique recreational activities. Pickleball is the new kid on the block and is very popular. Our village games are a perfect way to show off our sports talents. Wow, have we grown in 60-plus years. However, we're still guided by the Cortese vision of a total way of life in which religion, medical care, and recreation are included. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Beth.
Okay, our next speaker is William Mueller.
Yes, good morning to you all. My name is William Mueller. Excuse me. I'm 97 years old. I'm a Navy veteran, and I came to live in Laguna Woods about 15 years ago. I love it here because it's quiet, it's tranquil, and it has security. So I'm very happy here. However, I'm here to talk about something called noise contamination. I live in a small villa, 3 units per building, all attached. They shared walls.
Right.
My neighbor, there are 3 of us in the building. My neighbor moved out about a year or so ago. And since that time, the adjoining place to me has been under reconstruction. And lately, last week, it got so bad, the noise was so intense, I had to leave the building. I had to go and stand on the sidewalk, and I have a hearing problem, and I still had to leave. They're running equipment over there, and as far as I'm concerned, they're not renovating, they're demolishing the place. So I went next door and walked in, and I said, guys, what are you doing here, and when are you going to finish up? They looked at me like, don't know what you're talking about. I think it was an language problem. So I got no answer there. But the place is just ripped apart. They're down to bare wood, joists, that's all. So I came back over here and I went to the alteration people over here. And I said, I'm having a problem. I described what I just told you. And they said, well, it's really construction time. These people are allowed to work from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I said, that's fair. But I don't think they're allowed to tear the place apart and pound on the walls and run heavy equipment. That's disturbing me. So I didn't get any satisfaction there. So I went to the compliance people upstairs. And a very polite gentleman came down and he said the same thing to me that I just heard moments ago. I said, well, what am I going to do? Who do I talk to? He said, oh, call the police, call security, tell them what's going on. So I went home, and the noise was still intense. So I took my portable phone, I went out, and I stood on the patio, made the call to security. I said, security, I can't go in my house. It's so noisy, I can't stand it. Oh, they said, that's normal working hours. I said, no, this is not normal. Please send an officer over here so he can listen to what I'm listening to, because I can't use my house. I can't read, I can't watch TV, I can't make a telephone call, and by the way, I'm standing on my front walk making this call. So I got put off. Okay? And I guess that's why I'm here today. One more thing. I looked up the right to quiet enjoyment in co-ops. It says in a condominium owners association, the right to quiet enjoyment is a legal protection. That's pretty powerful.
Okay.
This is California law. One final thing. Let's just say, quiet enjoyment is not just about noise, it's being able to live in your properly undisturbed manner. And they quote California Civil Code 1927. So would please have somebody come and inspect the building next to me and find out what's going on. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, William. I think we have a comment from Siobhan on this.
Yes, sir. We will have the appropriate people reach out to you, and we'll come to a resolution.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ron?
Mr. Chair, just, I thought there was a maximum amount of decibels allowed during construction time. So that officer, whoever, the solution was to actually measure those decibels and determine if the level was appropriate or not.
Again, I will have all appropriate staff respond.
Thank you.
Okay, next speaker is Farhad Bakshande.
Good morning. Before you put me on 3 minutes, how do we do with the evidences? Do you want me? Okay.
We just
Good
have one
morning.
copy? Okay. We have one copy? Okay.
I'm here today to address the following serious issues to my property. Number one, to present to you insufficient, irresponsible, and uncaring your maintenance department has been, especially while serving a senior living community where residents are vulnerable to illness, infection, and health complications. Number two, to ask what legal protection I have as a unit owner if a lawsuit is filed against me for damages and injuries caused by conditions that were not my fault or under my control. Does this co-op have legal representation or protection for owner placed in this situation due to negligence by the corporate? Number three, to determine who is responsible for my financial loss. Number four, to ask what guarantees and corrective actions will be put in place to ensure that this never happens again to my property. Now I would like to explain the sad and disturbing incident that occurred. I rented my unit to an 81-year-old tenant beginning on March 20th. Shortly after the moving, she reported that the toilet were not flushing properly and water is in the bathroom was not draining and is backing up. She contacted the maintenance department and the service ticket was created, exhibit number A, on Wednesday, March 30th. Maintenance sent an employee to inspect the problem. Apparently, the main sewer line was severely clogged with 3 roots. an employee was unable to clear the blockage. Instead of resolving the problem properly, the employee temporarily uncapped the main sewer cleanout located directly outside the master bathroom window, Exhibit B1 and B2. After this, my tenant, who is 81-year-old, began complaining about an unbearable sewage odor coming into the unit. On April 8th, I personally visited the unit for the first time, discovered the sewer cleanout had been left uncapped. There was toilet paper, human waste, and sewage material exposed outside the window, along with a horrible and overwhelming smell. I immediately went to the management department and reported the situation. I was told by the management that they are already aware of the problem, but there will be no plumber until April 28th. This is ridiculous. I explained that no one, especially an elderly resident, could reasonably or safely live under these conditions for nearly 3 weeks. After my complaint, another maintenance employee was sent to the property. I was waiting there for him that day. He cleaned the exposed sewage materials and placed only a loose temporary cap on the sewer cleanup.
Okay,
The second ticket
Farad?
was issued at that time, Exhibit C.
Excuse me, sir. I understand that. I've seen the pictures. I've been through this. I know how you feel. What is the status today?
Today is under quarantine. It's a 1 month. I cannot even get into the property. They had the bacteria tested twice last week. I don't know what happened to it. I lost rocks, furnitures. I lost the tenant. I had to pay $8,000 to her just to keep her quiet. Now she may file a lawsuit against me. I want to know if there is a department you have that present me.
Okay,
It's
I tell you
not
what.
my fault.
I tell you what. We will have somebody contact you by the end of today on this. Okay, I'm sure we can do that.
Okay.
And we'll get an update. We'll make sure everything is corrected. I can't do anything about the quarantine thing because I'm not an expert or anything like that. Okay, but they will contact you today. I promise.
Okay, I hope so.
You have my name.
Okay, next speaker is Roberta Burke.
Apropos to this
Wait a
gentleman's
minute, Rod.
conversation.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
Let's wait till everything's
Sure.
done. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Apropos to this gentleman's conversation is something that I have seen happening and getting worse. There is just no oversight. And I think in serious situations, we have to do something about it. I originally was coming here to talk about something totally different. However, last night there was an incident down near my unit that's very, very upsetting, and I hope you people are going to take it as seriously as it really is. About a year ago, we had a big influx of unwanted visitors down here coming in from the creek and from a couple of other places. They broke up an encampment that was on the outside, and for a while it had been okay. Now, I live at 933B. 933B is the end of the property line right near the gate down towards Moulton, the bottom of the creek. The creek runs past and in front of my house, and it turns where there's a water runoff. The property turns. The creek continues to go straight. Where the water runoff is deep. So somebody could do this and creep up onto the property, or they can do what they did last night and before this. And that is they come in through the gate that goes across the creek. Not our gates, but the one that goes across the creek. Now, I have asked previously. It's pitch black there. There are no lights from any buildings that shine there on the end of the Laguna Woods property, which is right outside the side of my house. I've asked for a light, and they turned me down. There is a building up above that has a light that was put in by PCM. Why my building can't get a light to shine on that big open space of property, I really don't know. I do not have a light in front of my patio as all the others do on the walk, but I don't want it on the walk in the front of my house. I want it on the side to light up that land so that these guys, and sometimes women, don't come up to my building. I don't need them there. If it's lit up, would you walk up there if you were doing something wrong? No. So it will keep them away. But more than that, there were 4 children playing in there on our property down in the creek bed. And they told me that there were 4 ways to get in from the gate. Now, the gate, no matter what you do, can't be 100% safe because it has to have space at the bottom. And you can't put barbed wire there because I went through that when I moved here 27 years ago. The barbed wire picks up all the dirt in the water, and it just clogs up. So that space has to be left. But the spaces that run this way certainly can be fixed. So back over a year ago, I had the head, I think it's Sidewalks and Streets, but whoever's in charge of that gate, the head of the department, who told me that the gate is old and all rusted, and even a piece had been cut out from one of the parts for them to get in. I am asking you now, nothing has been done about that gate. I can no longer see it because too much bush is growing there. I want the gate fixed. We deserve it. Just like you're doing shrubbery, new shrubbery and whatever, we need a new gate.
Okay, Roberta,
I want a light.
Okay, your time is up. We'll look in this. I know for a fact there's cameras down there.
The cameras
Okay,
aren't doing
so,
anything.
Well, they can take a look and see what's going on. Definitely, they'll do something,
Okay, last night there were security people there, so I'd appreciate if you talk to them at least to realize and understand, because I don't think everyone's been there, how dark it really is.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, the last one's going to be an email. This is from Chris Collins of the Foundation of Laguna Woods. Let's keep looking out for one another. As of this May, the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village is introducing a new initiative that really speaks into this motto of neighbors helping neighbors. It's an emergency decal program designed to help identify residents who might need a little extra assistance if we ever face a major emergency, such as a fire or an earthquake, or even a smaller ones, such as a power outage. The emergency decal is a window cling that should be placed on the window near the front of the manor. A window cling is a vinyl graphic that self-adheres or sticks to a smooth surface such as glass and easily removed. Since neighbors are often the very first responders on the scene, having these decals can help neighbors know exactly who to check on during these such events. The decals are also intended to help professional responders. Though it's important to remember that first responders triage each situation based upon the severity of emergency and their available personnel and resources. Please keep in mind that using the decal is completely voluntary and free of charge. It is purely informational and does not guarantee a rescue or create a legal duty to help. The Foundation of Laguna Woods Village is not a first responder and is only providing the emergency decal as part of a community education effort. Initially, the decals will be distributed via the Garden Villa Association, the Laguna Woods Social Service, and the Village Meals on Wheels program. The Foundation of Laguna Woods Village can be contacted at foundationlwv@gmail.com or at 949-268-2246 if a resident wants to request one. For more information about the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village and its planning for the Unpredictable video series, visit foundationoflagunawoodsvillage.org and select the Disaster Preparedness tab, which lists a series of YouTube videos on emergency preparedness. Call the Foundation at 949-268-2246 or email foundationlwv@gmail.com if you need further information. And that is it.
Thank you, Paul. That's for Chris. All right. Any more questions, comments? Do we have anything from the board? Like any comments on anything? Well, not yet. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. I will say that Juanita, Beth, and Roberta, thank you for the updates from the history and library and the foundation. William left. I wish he wouldn't have, but I'm sure we will get with that gentleman. And then along with Farad, we will definitely get with him. So thank you very much. We're going to go on now. We're going to go into the CE report.
We're actually going to go to response to past open forum speakers.
Oops, sorry. Kathy, I'm sorry. Yep.
I am to talk about the past speakers, but I was told that I would be given something to read and respond. I have not received it, so I don't know how I can respond to the past speakers.
Okay. I'll reach out to the staff member, and we'll make sure we do this next month, and I do apologize for that.
Okay, so I was supposed to get something.
Yes, you were, yes.
Thank you. So I apologize.
Oh, no problem. We need to get you the information so you can cover it. All right. Now, we can go to the CEO report. Juan Fawcett, thank you.
President Prater, honorable members of the board, and our audience. I'd like to bring you up to date on some items in our community. I'd like to begin with a reminder that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have VMS Social Services that helps residents maintain independence and enhance their quality of life. Social workers are available for short-term counseling, long-term care planning, and resource referrals. Please contact social services if you are grieving the loss of a loved one, caring for an aging relative, coping with a life-changing diagnosis, making long-term care arrangements, feeling overwhelmed or stressed. VMS Social Services is located just down the hallway here in the community center and can be reached by telephone at 949-597-4267. On Monday, May 25th at 1 p.m., we are going to remember those who have given their life in service for our community and for our country. Again, that's Monday, May 25th at 1 p.m. The All-American Boys Chorus, American Legion Post 257, and guest speakers will lead a remembrance honoring those who have died in service to our country. Tickets are free. You may reserve them at the Performing Arts Center box office Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There is going to be a temporary fire station placed across the street in the Home Depot East Side parking lot, south of the former Rite Aid driveway. It's shown on the screen before you in the red square. The Orange County Fire Authority is working to bring this temporary station as an interim measure before the new fire station is constructed just adjacent to this building in a portion of the City Center Park site. That new station is expected to be completed at the end of 2029. Excuse me. There is a dedicated fire engine already in service for that station. It's currently being housed in Lake Forest because they have space for it. However, it will move to the temporary station when it's ready. And the fire authority is working through the permitting process for site setup. That's with the city. And city council approval will be needed before that temporary station can open. The official opening date is to be determined based on permitting and the city council's approval. A workshop titled Emergency Preparedness for Older Adults will take place on Wednesday, May 27th at 2 p.m. in Clubhouse 7. This is to help everyone learn how to prepare for emergencies with a focus on the unique needs of older adults. Topics include local risks, creating an effective emergency plan, what to include in an emergency kit, how to stay informed during a crisis. No registration is required for that. The 2027 Facilities Lottery is approaching. You can pick up lottery cards starting Friday, May 15th, or email requests to recreation@vmsinc.org. Please submit your requests by Monday, June 15th. Notifications will be sent by September 1st. There should be one event per card or request and a limit of 4 per club or manor. Please include in with your request the name, manor number, club or organization if applicable, phone number, resident ID number, the event type, number of attendees, preferred room, event date and time. For more information, you can contact our Recreation Department at 949-597-4273 or recreation@vmsinc.org via email. VMS Manor Alterations in the City of Laguna Woods will be hosting a Manor Renovations Town Hall. This will take place on Friday, June 19th at 9 a.m. in Clubhouse 5. It's for members, contractors, and realtors. Topics will include such things as permit processing improvements, flooring updates, accessibility considerations, room reclassifications, and so on. For more information, you can call Josh Monroy at 949-597-4366. And I'd like to conclude briefly by highlighting the Employee Excellence Awards that took place just last week. The awards are presented in spring and fall, recognizing our outstanding employees who demonstrate excellent customer service, achieve great results on projects, and regularly go above and beyond their regular job duties. And I'll just read their names for you, and my hope is that if you see one of them, that you recognize them for their recent recognition. From Financial Services, Ainsley Songalang, our payroll coordinator, and Kayla Ibale, our payroll specialist. From General Services, Michael Everett, a transportation coordinator who also fills in as a driver on needed times. From Human Resources, Amy Buff, HR generalist. From our landscaping services, Roberto Sanchez, nursery supervisor, David Gomez, irrigation foreman, Raul Torres, irrigation foreman, and Gustavo Soto, our senior sprayer. From resident services, Julio Cesar Gonzalez Padilla, a workflow scheduler, Brandon Kwan, customer service representative 1. Recreation and special events recognized Judy Dilling, golf course attendant, and Deb Stewart, part-time recreation leader. From maintenance and construction, Christiane Osborne, operations specialist, and from security services, Carmen Aguilar and Alicia Magnuson. Lastly, but not least, our community services team was recognized notably for showing marked improvement in processing times. For example, leasing is down to same-day application processing, and resales has a 15-day turnaround times. And on the last slide is a list of our community services team members who were recognized. Again, please join me in recognizing the outstanding service that these employees provide to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks to all of them. A lot of people giving excellent service. It's appreciated. All right. We have a hand up. Tony.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask the CEO to check in on at Calle Aragon around cul-de-sac 32. They have the street all painted up like they're going to do something there. I'd like to see. I took a video of it that I can show you later, but I'd like to see if we can get some, if there's going to be some major construction there. I'd like the people to get some heads up on that. Thank you.
Consent, number 10, consent calendar. We have a motion to approve. We don't go through these. We're just going to approve them, correct? Yes. Maggie?
I move we accept the items on the consent calendar.
I second.
LC seconds. Anybody oppose? So moved. Thank you. All right. And just a little highlight of that before we go into the next item. On that was the committee appointments, so we're all up to date on that. Okay, unfinished business. All right. Oh, here she comes. Good morning. This is the disciplinary update report.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. So before you is the disciplinary update report, agenda item 11A. In the report, you'll see a breakdown of the disciplinary cases for the last 3 months of February to April of this year. We started the month with 312 cases and ended the month with 337 cases. The majority, or this past month, we did see an increase in clutter items overall, but specifically balcony and breezeway clutters did increase. The remaining of the categories the overall activity did remain stable. So that concludes my report, and I'm available for questions if the board has any.
Anybody have any questions? Tony?
Just information, when you get a complaint, do you put like a control number on it?
Yes.
And then, so you can go into a field and it comes right back up to you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we do track it and monitor it and put it in our database.
All right. Francis, thank you very much.
You're welcome, my pleasure. Did Director Bravada have another question?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand.
Thank you, I did. I wanted to ask you, on the traffic violations for the month of April, there was only one?
Yes, that's an escalation to us, to the compliance team. That's not the overall traffic citations. Those are documented and reported on at your SCAC meeting.
At which meeting?
SCAC meeting, the Security and Community Access Committee. As part of their presentation, they include a breakdown of all the citations that have been imposed.
Okay, I thought I had asked at the last meeting.
You did, and I thought it was
And we did get the one
responded
copy,
to.
but that was just only received when we asked
No,
for
it's
it?
presented at every committee meeting. At the SCAC committee, it's part of their standard agenda packet.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
Okay. Town halls. I get to say so. All right. Last week's town hall, I have to say that the Orange County Fire Authority came in and did one of the best presentations I've seen in a long time. They were there, they handed out a lot of information, everything from hazardous waste to, oh my gosh, senior fall prevention. They had brochures on, there we go. They had brochures on a lot of stuff, and their presentation when they went over this was just, like I said, one of the best presentations I think we've had. If anybody hears about them doing a presentation in the village, whether it be for GRF or Third or anybody, go to that presentation. You'll be very, very well informed. So, yes.
Concerning that town hall, I did find it very, very interesting. I was a little concerned that not as many residents showed up as I thought they would for that presentation, and it was very helpful. And maybe we can have it again and advertise it a little bit more so that more residents will attend.
I totally agree. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
President, I'd like to recognize Anthony Livatore for organizing that and working so hard to get everybody assembled and the tables lined up with all the information.
Absolutely. Tony, you did a great job.
Very good job.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. But I wanted to know about lithium batteries. But the chief got called out on an accident, so we didn't get, because lithium batteries, I guess, was the cause of the fire at the carport 209.
Yep.
And I wanted to see how to handle lithium batteries. I know nothing about them. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. He was there. He was ready right before he was ready to start. His radio went off and he had to leave. So, but his crew did a great job with everything else. Okay. Maybe we could have him back and talk to that. Okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
They did, the firemen who were still there said, make sure that if you are plugging in your car to recharge, to have an appropriate extension cord. And because if you don't have the right kind of extension cord, of course, it's going to not work. And it's best if you could plug it directly into the wall. So just until we can get somebody out here to really talk about it, try to not to use extension cords. That's part of why the
Yeah,
fire occurred.
electrical things, and even the surge suppressors they mentioned that we get. Don't buy the one on ABC. Buy one that is ULA or UL approved. Turn it over so they can do their job. Okay. There was one other thing they mentioned, and it just slipped my mind.
If you're buying new fire extinguishers, they recommended buying one that has all the features, A, B, C. So when you're going out, that will handle electrical, kitchen fires, etc. So if you're going to purchase one, get one that does all of it.
Yeah, and they also stress, be careful how many appliances and stuff you put on these surge suppressors. We have a mindset that says, I got this on there, I'm safe. They also have their limits, okay? And that being said, the carport fire, I don't see it on here, so I will make a little plug. I went by there Sunday evening, and it looks great. They got probably 95% done. I don't know what final inspection or
They've
something.
passed all inspections from the city. They hope to have occupants back next Monday.
Great. It looks great. Well, like I said, it's new. It's got to look great. But they did a good job, and I'm glad to hear that they're going to get that back to normal over there. All right. Down hall. Okay, now, would somebody like to entertain a motion to approve the revision to Standard 9 interior flooring?
I have to read it.
Maggie's going to read it, okay?
Resolution 0126XX, revised standard 9, interior flooring. This is item 11C, page 530. Whereas the United Laguna Woods Mutual recognizes the need to amend standards and create new standards as necessary, and whereas the Mutual recognizes the need to revise Standard 9, interior flooring for second floor matters. Now therefore be it resolved, May 12, 2026, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts revision and amendments to Standard 9 interior flooring for second floor matters as attached to the official meeting minutes, and resolve further that Resolution 012563, adopted June 10th of 2025, is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written. April initial notification, the 28-day notification for member review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. We've not heard that before. If it was not on a prior agenda, how can this be?
This was on last month's agenda, so it's being finalized today.
That's why it's on unfinished business.
It was on 28-day notifications being satisfied today.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, do we have a second on the motion? Jonathan, thank you. Any more discussion? Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm totally against this Standard 9 as it is written. It is the antithesis of the very foundation of principles of the corporate living. A cooperative is a business or organization owned and democratically controlled by its members to meet the shared economic, social, and cultural needs. The Standard 9 is taken verbatim from third. One size fits all. I challenge you to read 4.6 or the whole section 4 as it's presented here. And it's just, it ignores the whole concept of co-op. Standard 9 has to be rewritten to meet the shared economic and social needs of its members. As fiduciaries, we are bound to advocate for our residents and not patronize staff or third. This board is creating a Hatfield and McCoy. You know, if you get into a beef with your neighbor, no one wins. It's never settled. It creates animosity that never stops giving. Thank you.
Thank you. So noted, Tony. Anybody else? Any quick? Yes, Paul?
When you're ready, we have 2 member comments on this item.
Okay.
First speaker is Yo Fujiki.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good.
This is my first time here, but I do appreciate the opportunity to speak in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to really ask for your help. I concur with what Tony has said earlier. About a little over 3 years ago, my wife and I decided to purchase a co-op, and it's a 2-story building. We decided at the time to purchase a ground floor unit because it gave us better access from the street. And my wife and I both were having some physical problems, hip and the lower back, as usual. So anyway, we thought at that time that we would have a perfect forever home. But unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. One major problem we ran into is the noise issue. Noise that's coming from above us, from the upper unit, because that unit was fully renovated about 10 years ago, and it's got hard flooring, and the noise transmission is a lot worse than we had ever anticipated. We hear vacuuming noise. We hear things dropping on the floor, plumbing, TV, footsteps, of course. If you wear soft shoes, it's not too bad. But if somebody's wearing leather shoes, boots, maybe clogs, it's not very good. We hear everything. And it just doesn't stop. So it's turned into a bit of a nightmare for us. And so whatever you do to decide, go forward with, please put yourself in our shoes, those of us who live on the ground floor or the first floor, and end up having to cope with this issue. I'm sorry, I'm kind of running out of time, but at the same time, I have another issue that's intertwined and related to the noise that we have coming from the upper unit. And that is, my neighbor is running a business out of the unit. It's illegal. I know that. And I have spoken to him about that. And he told me what he does. And I know exactly what he's been doing. Well, at least so we think. So I think. And he says that he volunteers for a food bank. So he goes around the neighborhood, collects donated food in cartons, brings them back into his unit. He's using the unit as a warehouse. So you can imagine loading and unloading all these boxes, not on a monthly basis, not on a weekly basis, almost on a daily basis. It adds to that noise nuisance.
Okay. All right.
No, I have taken.
Unfortunately, sir, your time is up.
Your time is up. I'm sorry, your time is up. I tell you what, This might have to go over to compliance, probably?
I have submitted my report to the compliance.
Okay.
I've been dealing with them for the past 4 months. I've gone to advisory committee, resident advisory committee, and thank you for listening to me, to a couple of directors. And I'm not getting anywhere. All
Okay.
I'm getting is a canned response that says, call security. I'm not just talking about the noise issue. I'm
Okay.
talking about somebody conducting an illegal business.
Okay,
I want an end to it.
all right.
Okay?
We
Thank you
have
very
no-
much for listening.
We got notes on that.
Okay.
They will
appreciate
definitely
if
get back
could
with you.
Follow up on it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, our last speaker is Tony Mendel.
I think Morale.
Just one comment. We're here today to just replace a mutual consent with the registration form. We're not talking about noise levels or any other matters associated with a particular standard. So I just want to make sure we keep
Stay
it
on.
within the framework of what it is we're voting on today. So, thank you.
We have, Tony?
This directly reflects on the whole issue of Standard 9. That's why we're talking about it. It reflects on how it's written. If you read a whole section 4 on Standard 9, it's totally obnoxious. Thank you.
Kathy, go ahead.
One of the issues that they want to change on Standard 9 is from 50 dB to 57 dB. And while I appreciate what Director Lipitori is saying, I live upstairs, and in my small little building, we've already had very close knockdown, drag-out fights where security had to be called because the upstairs units, except for mine, all have hardwood floors or laminate, and the neighbors downstairs, the noise level is so bad, especially when some of the neighbors are up until 1, 2 in the morning, and the constant noise in their bedroom, they can't sleep. So there has to be something done as far as the noise for the people who live downstairs.
Okay. Phyllis,
you.
please.
I just have a clarification question, and it's along with what Director Kesby said. Is my understanding that what we are changing right now is the application process, not the rest of?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Let's keep this going then. We're talking about the applications. We're not talking about changing Standard 9. This is an application resolution change, okay? So we want to stay on point of what we're talking about. Tony, go ahead.
If something's on the agenda to be talked about, it's open. There's no restrictions on what we can say about it. It's on the agenda to be talked about by directors as it applies to all our residents, because we advocate for residents.
Right.
So we can't restrict the conversation once it's on the agenda. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to restrict the conversation. I just wanted to make sure folks understood that we're not amending the entire standard, just the application process. Thank you.
And Tony is next.
Tony Mandel, 31C. I'd like to read you some resident statements. By the way,
Tony, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Resident A, since my upstairs neighbor replaced the carpet with hard flooring, I've been subjected to daily stomping noises. Despite my complaints to management, the issue remains unresolved and has severely affected my enjoyment of my home. What's the problem?
Yes, you're not reading clearly. Just speak louder.
Well,
Thank you.
You don't have the floor.
We can't hear her,
I'm sorry,
Tony.
we can't hear her.
Resident B, can you hear me now?
Well, continue on as
Okay.
best you can.
I had to sell my unit because the noise from the hard flooring above was unbearable. I tried to address the issue with the HOA, but nothing changed. The constant disturbance made living here intolerable. C, even after using sound reduction padding, I still hear excessive noise from the unit above. This has made it difficult for me to concentrate on work and has disrupted my peace at home. D, I supported addressing the flooring issue in our community. The noise has become a significant problem. Resident E, I choose not to pursue a costly test after my neighbor's renovation, as I felt it would be futile. The lack of action from management has left me feeling powerless. Resident F, I have residents above and even a resident next door with hard flooring, and I literally hear every step, not only annoying, but sleep disruption too. Resident G, the disturbance from hard flooring in the Neighboring units have made my my living situation unbearable. Resident H, after my neighbor replaced their carpet with hard flooring, I began to experience severe noise disturbances. Resident I have never experienced anything like this. If I had known about the noise because of the hard flooring upstairs, I never would have moved here. I'm sorry I did. I have not had a full night's sleep since I've been here. Resident J, the quality of my life has disastrously changed as hard surface flooring above. What appeared normal before is now a nightmare. Anything dropped makes me jump. It's scary. Just walking above disturbs me. And if I'm trying to sleep, I also wear hearing aids. Without them at night, I can hear snoring. And we are just at the beginning gathering these statements from people who live here.
Okay, Tony, I'd like...
Wait, I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Go ahead.
If there's anybody on this board who has experience with people who are having this issue, send them to me.
Okay, thank you. And I think that is really nice of you to take these statements, but these people need to come or call in and get a ticket on this as a complaint. If I don't have complaints, we can't do anything. You're reading a big list of people.
I still have time.
And that's good. Tony, I'm talking.
They have all gone to compliance, all of them.
Every one of them has gone to
You
compliance?
have seen the list. Someone
We cannot have back and forth discussion between the boards
this
and
is not what
members.
this
It
is
should
about.
be,
I'm responding to something he's
there's
saying.
no back and forth discussion. It's only,
All of
you
them
had
have
3
gone
minutes
to
to comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, we can vote for this now? All those in favor of the...
We're going to put up
We're
the
gonna put it up?
screen if you
Okay.
give me 1 second, sorry.
That's okay.
You can also use your mouse as well if you can't use the screen.
Come on.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you. All right, we go on to need another resolution for the standard 41 electric vehicle charging stations. Would you like to read that, Maggie?
Okay, hang on.
Since we read it last month, you don't have to read the
We don't have to read
resolution
it
if you don't want
again?
to. It's up to you.
Oh, okay. All right, do we have a motion to approve?
Wait a minute, which one is this, 11C?
This is
11D?
ED, 11D. D.
We're on 11D.
Donut.
D, David. Donut.
Revised Standard 41 electric vehicle charging stations.
Okay, we don't need to read it, we did last month.
Really?
Yeah.
It's up to you if you want to read it. If not.
It's a short one.
Whereas the United Laguna Woods Mutual recognizes the need to amend standards and create new standards as necessary, and whereas the Mutual recognizes the need to revive Standard 41 electric vehicle charging stations. Now therefore be it resolved May 12, 2026, the Board of Directors of the Corporation hereby adopts revision and amendments to Standard 41 electric vehicle charging stations as attached to the official meeting minutes. And resolve further that Resolution 01-1501, adopted January 13th of 2015, is hereby superseded and canceled. Resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written. April notification has been satisfied, 4360. I move this resolution.
Do we have a second? Sue, thank you. Are we doing this on screen?
Yeah, we have a member comment on this
Oh,
item.
okay.
Andy Nguyen.
All right, Mr. Nguyen.
Good morning. My name is Andy Nguyen, and I'm kind of new here in the community. And I really appreciate the way the board director run in the community. And with me here today, I have Mr. Mary Young and Mr. Larry Reinin. And we are all owners of different units of the same building. And we also are owner of electric cars and golf carts. And we need to charge it very often. I myself charge it every day. But every time there's more than one car charging, then the circuit breaker would trip. And it would take like 24 hours to restore the power. And if it's over the weekend, it would be 72 hours. And it's so inconvenient for us. So we would like to make a request for the board to approve of upgrade of the electrical wiring system so that it can handle more current, more amps. So whenever we plug our car in for charging, it would not trip. Thank you very much.
All right. Any comments? Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, we're dealing with this in the Energy Committee.
Yes.
And one of the problems is, I speak about my cul-de-sac. Outside our laundry room, we have 150 amps comes to our laundry room. 100 amps goes in to work the laundry. The other 50 amps works for 4 carports. And the issue is going to be very, very expensive. And I gave a paper to the M&C outlining costs at different levels for level 1, level 2, level 3. I haven't heard anything back as to what we're going to do because my pet project would be to go after SoCal Edison because they have an $8 billion CapEx fund that they're going to help save from killing the birds and fires. And if we could get some help in Sacramento to get the SoCal Edison to pay for these, they recoup their costs the first 5 years. And then we keep paying them every month anyway. So I really feel the pain for these people because I live on cul-de-sac 40 where we had the same issue. And it seems like we're like on a lazy Susan going around in circles saying the same thing every meeting. So I like to see M&C come back to us and give us some direction on going after SoCal Edison. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Anybody else? Yes, Phyllis.
What would be the appropriate committee for the resident to bring this issue up at?
That would be the energy and...
Energy?
Energy. Yeah. And I know we work... Yeah. Yeah, we're talking a lot and trying to get this, and we're not... The Energy Committee meets... When's it meet next, I think? Okay. Yeah, we do cover it. It will be up there. You might want to inquire about that and love to have you come to the Energy Committee and help us push this. Okay, we do it as much as we can. Running a 240, even a 240 line into some of these things, the cost is just astronomical. Okay. Sue, I think Sue's first, and then you?
I would recommend you just try to plug in somewhere else, you know, that you could go and because it could be fast. I know we have that in our neighborhood as well. And I have a hybrid and it's constantly tripping. And it's just a problem because we can't afford to redo all the electrical wiring.
Okay. The next subcommittee meeting is May 18th in this room at 9:30 a.m., and I would invite you to come next week.
Excuse me, I just wanted to finish by saying, that's okay, try to get a schedule with your neighbors. I know oftentimes there are people who don't abide by it, but it does help if people will.
Right.
Kathy?
I'm sorry, Sue, I thought you had finished.
It's
I
no
guess you
problem.
just took a breath.
That's okay, no problem.
Thank you, but it's May 18th.
All right. I think, Elsie, please, go ahead.
Meanwhile, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah. They're going to come to the...
I was just going to suggest they go to one of the many public
Charging.
charging stations.
Yes.
But they're gone.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so I think we need to vote on this resolution. Any more comments? Okay.
I can't see, did I vote?
And this is just
No.
the insurance thing, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
so-
wait, insurance? Oh, that's, okay.
Where? This is 11 Donut, right?
Yes.
I don't see the word insurance anywhere. I'm sorry. On page 5 of 28, 11D, I do not see the word insurance anywhere. So if this is an insurance
What-
matter,
It's a staff report.
Oh, it's
To
in the
bring
staff
it into
report?
compliance.
This will
It's
bring
in-
it into compliance.
Yeah, it's in the
Yes.
staff report.
The
that would
forms.
be page 7 of 28, or where?
It's right before the staff report.
This-
It's before this. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just complying.
We're just complying with the law.
11D3 of 28, okay.
Do we have a comment here? I think we have the expert here.
Yeah, just for clarification, and good morning, by the way.
Thank you.
Good morning.
In October of last year, the Senate Bill 770 was passed. The main component of that Senate bill was that the mutual could no longer allow or require a member to, for them to be added on as additional insured. So the attachment or the revision for Standard 41 is simply the removal of that insurance requirement.
Okay,
So is there?
so automobiles are not insured under this. Okay, thank you.
All right.
No, no. HOA that's not.
No, it's the
HOA is-
HOA was demanding that the resident name the mutual as an insured party. And they've taken that requirement away.
Okay,
Right?
Okay, yes.
okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay. Well, I have to, oh, mine's not working. Okay. Everything else feels used the minutes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see, passes unanimous, 9.
Okay, let's go
Who did-
to
Wait, who
Whoop.
did, who, I count 9?
9. 9,
Who's-
yes.
Who's missing?
No, Mary didn't.
Mary just came in, so she'll be voted on the next
9,
item.
9.
Okay.
It's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Wendy is one.
Yeah, there's Tim now.
What?
All right.
Where's the other vote?
No,
Wendy retired.
When-
He just came in, though, so we'll
Mary
have-
just came in, so she's not going to vote on it.
Okay,
She'll vote the next item.
Yeah.
And moving forward.
Yeah.
But she came in at the very end of this last one. so
okay,
we're not counting
okay.
her.
Is 9 out of 9.
Thank you.
Okey dokey. Entertain a motion to approve the recommendation to approve the resolution to the revise the herbicide spray guidelines and acknowledgement form.
I make a motion? No.
Wait,
What about the
E.
damage restoration policy?
Comes next.
We're on E.
we're on 11E,
Yeah, keep going.
herbicide
Okay.
spray cessation.
Yeah, we're still in, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
United Mutual maintains approximately 138 acres of turf, 75 acres of shrub beds, 85 miles of turf hedges, and effective weed control within the areas is essential to preserve landscape health, safety, and appearance. And whereas due to staffing levels and proliferation of invasive kikuyu grass, the use of herbicides remains the only practical and feasible method to manage weeds within shrub beds along the turf edges at the frequency required. And whereas some members have requested that herbicides not be applied in common area shrub beds directly adjacent to their respective units, and the board previously established a process to accommodate such requests through signed agreement. And whereas additional members have also requested the ability to perform all maintenance of the common area shrub beds adjacent to their units, and whereas said members requesting cessation of herbicide application or requesting to perform maintenance and shrub vegetation to their units must assume all responsibility for all shrub maintenance, but not limited to trimming, weeding, edging, and cleanup within the shrub beds. Whereas said members making such requests shall complete and sign the revised herbicide spray guidelines and acknowledgement form documentation documenting their agreement to assume full maintenance responsibility for the designated shrub bed areas. And whereas the landscape department shall retain the right to apply herbicides in all other common areas and to apply insecticides where necessary to control pests affecting buildings and common areas, and this program shall not apply to turf areas. Now therefore be it resolved May 12, 2026, the Board of Directors hereby authorizes the revised herbicide spray cessation guidelines and agreement form, and authorizes the continuation and administration of the no herbicide program under the revised terms. Resolved further, the policy is not intended to, nor shall it be interpreted as, conveying or ceding any common rights from the mutual to the member. And resolved further, the members requesting cessation of herbicide application or requesting to maintain shrub beds adjacent to their unit shall assume full responsibility for all shrub bed maintenance within the designated area, including trimming, weeding, edging, and cleanup. Resolved further that members participating in this program are not permitted to remove existing plant material or plant new material without express prior written permission from the mutual or its representatives, and resolved further that the landscape department shall document designated areas through field verification, marking and photographic memory records, and maintain completed acknowledgement forms on file. Resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized and directed to carry out the provisions of this resolution.
I second.
I didn't move it. You may move it if you wish.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't wish.
I move the resolution.
Okay.
Did we have a second? Okay. And any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Maggie.
We have 6,323 units. Many of those buildings are multiple people. How is the upstairs going to have better power over the grounds than the downstairs? Or the right unit or the left unit have better power? Every single unit will be up in the air then. We can't possibly manage this. It throws it open to all the members to do what they want in their front yards. And will landscape maintain it? Well, apparently not. Or maybe, yes, they will. And how will they? Because each member is going to have to stand out there on Tuesday, the third Tuesday of the month or something, when their person comes by. And they're going to fight with their neighbor, their upstairs neighbor, about what we're going to do about this petunia bush. And the other one is going to say, I want it all ripped out and desert plants planted. How is this going to possibly work? Oh, he's
here.
in the back.
Yep, he's
Come,
coming.
Tell us.
He's coming. Good morning, Kurt.
Good morning. Still morning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just have a few minutes.
Just a little bit.
Is that the only question? I can get them all at once.
May I?
Phyllis, I think.
Oh,
This question comes from several residents that I have talked to about this. Will staff still cut the grass?
Yes.
There we go. That was an easy one.
Mr. Morse?
Sue?
okay, thank you. I wanted to, this was very, very popular in the committee. People have been asking for this in the landscape committee for quite some time. They want more ability to take care of their units and not get into different discussions about who is responsible. And somebody made a mistake in trimming or this or that. But at the landscape committee meeting, they were a bit, they wanted a more thorough discussion about what this does and does not pertain to. So I hope we'll do a bit of an overview on this.
All right.
Ready?
Please go.
So this is not, as it said in the resolution, this is not giving people free reign over common area. This is to solve an issue that we have out there on a regular basis. We have a large number of residents that do their own gardening, trimming, if you will. What the problem is we, over the years, I think since this whole development started, residents have made agreements with foremen to not trim the red roses or not trim the petunias, as you said, but to trim everything else. And that's becoming very problematic for us. As we have staff turnover, we move people around. Nobody's keeping track of what shrubs they're supposed to trim and what shrubs they're not supposed to trim. So we had the same issue with the herbicides. So we're just expanding the herbicide cessation. So people can currently, and I think it's 60 some odd people that currently have the no spray, we call it, the no Herbie, where people have requested we don't spray anything in their common area, which means the area adjacent to their unit. And that system has worked pretty well. We put out flags to delineate that area.
Right.
We agree with the resident. We talked to the resident and come to an agreement on what area they want to maintain, not that they get to keep or get to do anything with, that they want to maintain. It has not become an issue yet with second floor residents wanting first floor. We still have the square foot rule where you can do whatever you want in 36 square feet. This does not supersede that. And that is open to second floor residents, first floor residents. That also has been working well. All we're trying to do is get to the point where we can manage this a little better administratively. With the no Herbie, currently we don't spray, and they're supposed to weed. Some of them trim, some of them don't trim. For our guys to come in and not weed, but trim, it's very difficult for us to maintain on a practical basis, given that we have 6,500, whatever units it is we have to go to. We go there 6 times a year now. That's a lot to keep track of. So what we're trying to do is eliminate the onesies, twosies. If you want to trim your red roses, you trim them all. You trim everything. If you don't want to take on that responsibility of trimming all of those shrubs, we'll do them all. We can't do onesies, twosies. It has to be all or nothing for this to work for us.
Any questions for him? It was the tie. Who wants to go first? Rod.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I'm just wondering about how do we determine the safety of our herbicides? I was looking at the list last night, and each one of them was worse than the other. They were pretty bad. Some were safer than others, but safer doesn't mean safe. It just means safer. Why can't we just not do herbicides in exclusive common areas, period?
I would need about 300 more people.
Just for the exclusive, the 36 feet?
For just the shrub beds. So that's our biggest labor item right there is weeding. So in the resolution, it mentioned kikuyu grass. Kikuyu grass is about 75 to 80% of the turf we have out here. And I'm just saying this is one type of weed. It's very aggressive. It grows underground as well as above the ground. It creeps both. It has a root system about a foot deep. If we don't use herbicides, we can't stay on top of it. We can trim the edge, but it'll pop up 3 feet into the garden beds. The only way to control this particular weed, as well as a lot of other weeds, is to use herbicides.
So how do you determine the safety of the herbicides?
So herbicides themselves, the ones we use are the safest available on the market. We have a professional consultant that we go every 2 years. We go through what's new and available on the market, and we use the ones that are safest for the residents. So the ones that we use, the herbicide we're talking about, once it's dry, it's completely harmless to people. It doesn't go through your skin once it's dry. We put flags out. It dries in a matter of hours. we leave the flags out for 2 days. So the herbicides are unavoidable in this business. There's nobody in commercial landscaping that doesn't use herbicides. It's the only way to stay on top of it. Ask the people who don't have a spray how often they have to weed. It's a big chore, and it's the only way to get it done. We did an example. This came up prior to me taking over the department, right before I took over the department. We did an example. We tried to do hand weeding an entire cul-de-sac in lieu of herbicide. The labor costs were 4 to 5 times what they are using herbicides. So we would have to be in there way more often, and we would have to spend a lot more time in there without herbicides.
So we are trusting our residents to do all this work?
If they want to. We're
No,
not
what
asking
if
them
they
to
don't?
do it.
They
All
sign
ones-
the agreement?
They sign the agreement.
But
Like I
don't
said,
do it.
we have 60 some odd people currently doing it, and I mean, face it, you guys should be retired.
But do we check to make sure the work is done? I mean,
We
they
do,
sign- okay.
yes. They sign, and
Oh,
if they don't do it, we give them notice that you're not keeping up your agreement. There's rules in here on what we expect you to do.
Perfect.
If you're not doing it, we give you notice, and if you don't keep up, we take it back over.
Perfect. Thank you.
Maggie? She was next.
Looking at the third paragraph from the bottom, insecticides. The landscape department shall retain the right to apply herbicides in all of the common areas and to apply insecticides when necessary to control pests affecting buildings and common areas. And this program shall not apply to turf area. So our insecticide program will go on as usual, right?
Correct.
Everywhere.
Because one resident can't say whether or not we treat ants for their neighbor.
Right.
Which is the number one insecticide we do is ants.
Thank you.
And Jonathan, please.
Well, first of all, I appreciate your challenges on a daily basis. I just want to add to the note that I will support you as much as I can to make sure you standardize whatever you can. This is not a salad to pick from. So I really appreciate it. I know how challenging it is. You cannot satisfy everyone. But again, standardizing is a common practice throughout the entire world when it comes to satisfaction of the services. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Yes, Maggie?
Okay, suppose 2 units move out of a 4-unit building and the feeling changes. Do they notify you? Do they even know?
So the plan for the resale process would be similar to what it is now. Currently now, when you buy a unit that has non-standard landscaping, you agree to maintain it or you do not agree and we remove it.
Right.
So it would be the same process with this. If someone moves in and doesn't want to take over all the trimming, the agreement with the previous resident is null and void. The new resident would have to sign the same form over again to keep it going.
So you're going to maintain records for 6,323 units?
We already do.
Okay.
Anybody else have questions? Thank you very much, Kurt. All right, I think we have time to vote. Need a few more votes. Use your mouse if that isn't
Try
working.
using
there.
your mouse if it doesn't work
Yeah.
on the screen.
There you go. 2 more. We have 2 more.
Anthony?
I got it.
8, 9. Okay, well, 2 more.
We're waiting on
One
Anthony.
more. One more.
I did it.
No, we're waiting on Anthony.
Anthony? Yeah. Tony.
You have to look for your name.
Yes, you have to watch it.
I know, I'm on there.
There it went.
Okay, nice.
All right. It passes. Thank you very much. It passed.
Thank you.
All right. Riverside Sprays up. New business.
Can we take a break, Mr. President?
You know what? That's excellent. Let's take a 10-minute recess.
Okay.
Thank you. Breathing and walking. Did you know? Oops. All right. We need to entertain the notion to approve the damage restoration policy related documents. Do you want to read the resolution?
0126XX, revised damage restoration policy. Whereas United Mutual is a common interest development governed by its occupancy agreement and applicable provisions of the California Civil Code, Davis-Sterling Common Interest Development Act, and whereas Article 11 of the occupancy agreement assigns maintenance, repair, and replacement responsibilities between the mutual and members, and whereas the current damage restoration policy was intended to define mutual responsibilities for common area maintenance and member responsibility for alterations, and whereas the policy no longer adequately provides a clear or comprehensive delineation of responsibilities between the mutual and the member, and whereas such lack of clarity has resulted in, among other issues, denial of coverage by homeowners' insurance carriers and adverse outcomes in small claims proceedings, and whereas the Board of Directors finds it necessary to clarify and reaffirm the allocation of responsibility in a manner that is consistent, uniform, and enforceable, and whereas the Board of Directors has determined that an updated and comprehensive damage restoration policy is needed to reduce legal and financial risk and fully establish that members are responsible for the repair and or replacement of upgrades, redecoration, and improvements within their units, and further provides that members are responsible for damage caused to mutual controlled property by such changes. Now therefore be resolved June 9th, 2026, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the attached revised damage restoration policy and resolution to establish a clear and consistent policy governing responsibility for maintenance, repair, replacement, and damage restoration within mutual properties, and resolve further that Resolution 010675, adopted August 8th of 2006, is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. This is a May initial notification. Should the board endorse these provisions, staff recommends that the motion be made and seconded to accept it and to ensure the resolution reads to the satisfaction of the board. Then we put it over to a board meeting no less than 28 days from the postponement to comply with Civil Code 4360. I move this resolution.
Okay, we have a second. Okay, discussion. Kathy?
Okay, I have some issues with this under Section 8, Additional Provisions, 8.2. It states that the mutual shall not be responsible for loss of or damage to private property, personal property. My disagreement with this is if the mutual, meaning our staff, the workers, work on something that has, say, a pipe breaks and it damages someone's flooring or damages their personal property, that it was at no cause to themselves, even if they have what they show in 8.3, which is you have your own homeowner's insurance. I do not feel that the owner should have to pay to replace all of the things if it was clearly a mutual cause for the problem. And the other issue is if you guys all pass it and you want to do that and with the HOA insurance, I would like a clause in here to say something that the mutual will reimburse the deductible that the person has to pay. Because if a pipe breaks in the wall and floods the unit, which we have had, and someone does get their homeowner's insurance to cover the cost of fixing everything, they still have, in my case, I have a $2,000 deductible. So at no fault of my own, I'm forced to spend my own money to repair something that wasn't not deliberate, but caused by the mutual. And that is an issue that there should be something put in here that if it is, and you have HO6 insurance, the deductible should be covered by the association since it was their fault is not
their
the right
fault.
word,
Yeah.
but it's not. I can't think of the word that I had written down, but I think that should be a consideration.
Director Bravado? United has United has a damage restoration allowance policy that if a member's components, like carpet, vinyl, or cabinetry, are damaged, whether or not it's the mutuals, because United owns the majority of items in there unless it's altered. But even if they damage altered components, that the member can apply for this allowance, and they can either have the standard, the mutual standard, put in as a replacement of what was damaged at a mutual cost, or they can get an allowance for what it would cost to replace that item with mutual standard. But that is only if they do not file an insurance claim.
Right, and I understand that, and with the member hearings that we are involved in, as you know, that is something that weighs heavily on me when we're dealing with all of that. But even if we accept the mutuals monies for what the association would apply, if other things are damaged, such as property, other than the flooring, other than carpeting, and you have to use your HO6, you still have a deductible in order to cover all of those costs. And that is the part where I have a lot of issues for this, because some responsibility, and I know what you're going to say, we've been in enough meetings that, you allow $380 to replace such and such carpeting for this or that, whereas if someone actually did the remodeling was like, a portion of, say, $7,000, depending on the flooring. So I understand and appreciate what the association would cover. What my concern is based on this, when the owners, through no fault of their own, none whatsoever, they incur costs or expenses exceeding what the association allows. At least if they have insurance, I think the deductible should be covered by the mutual, and the rest of it would be for what they pay monthly or yearly for their insurance. So I know what you're going to say, and unfortunately, I disagree.
Well, that does directly conflict with your general conditions, Article 11, about what the member is responsible for, and this policy is to specify exactly what the member is responsible for, even in situations where the damage occurs from a mutual responsibility, situation. And it happens all the time. And Article 11, states that they are always responsible for their alterations. But that word isn't sufficient enough for members, because it says, well, where does it say that if your pipe leaks and ruins my, wood flooring, that I'm responsible? Well, it's not that specific until this policy. But I understand what you're coming from, but it also, what you're asking for might open up issues for the people who don't have insurance. And so if they don't have insurance, but yet you're giving somebody with insurance money back for their deductible, what are we going to give the people that don't have insurance that still has to pay full price?
Okay, right now I have I had two hands up, Sue and Phyllis.
Well, your comment about they should pay the deductible, people differ on their deductibles, and I understand what you're saying. Some people will have a very low deductible, like $250, $500. Some were willing to take the risk and go $2,000, $10,000, whatever. So if we were to say we would cover the deductible, well, what would that what would that floor be? You know, what would you select? And you brought up the other issue of parity, of someone not having insurance. So I don't know.
Phyllis, please.
Under Section 8.1, where it says VMS staff may perform services for non-mutual items, can you just give me an example of something that would come up during a restoration where that would occur?
Well, that occurs if their alteration or personal property or component that is fixed in place and could have the potential to cause damage to mutual property. So if something is a leak underneath flooring and it's not in the wall, but there's so much moisture that the moisture can wick toward the mutual's drywall, then we will spend some time and money to dry down that part of the alteration flooring so it doesn't leak or wick up to and cause damage to mutual property.
There was another hand. Oh, Elsie, please.
Thank you. I just want to point out that outside, anybody who's been a homeowner on the outside, nobody reimburses their deductible, no matter whose fault it is. I mean, the kid next door, right? Or whatever the cause of the damage is. So I don't see why we should do it any different here than we, you know, if you think about it, right? Nobody's going to give you your deductible. That's why they call it a deductible. Okay, I'm still talking. Number 2 is the cost to the mutual, which means I don't really feel like paying for your deductible or your deductible. Okay, nobody's rushing to help me with my deductible on my home, so why should I help you? At the cost, because that's what we're talking about here, the rest of us are going to pick it up in terms of manner per month increases that I don't believe are warranted. Also, people know before they put in their improvements that this is a possibility. And it's just like getting HOA. And if you don't have HO6, if you don't get HO6 insurance, that's your decision. And if you want to put in a bunch of improvements, that's your decision. But the point is, people are informed up front, or at the very least at the time of resale, what's in store for them. So why change it now? And lastly, where all these things lead, is this is a very slippery slope. That's all I have to say.
Kathy,
I'd also like to point out that the deductible isn't in addition to the damages, it's part of the total damage cost that goes to the insurance company. So we have the members sign a form stating that they promise they're not, going to submit a claim for this item that we're giving them a component allowance for. Because the insurance company is going to want to know if they receive money for this same thing, and if they do, they're going to deduct that amount anyway from the total that the insurance would cover, because it's not a technical term, but it's called like double dipping, right? They're getting money from two sides for that
Otherwise they
damage.
gain, yeah.
And I know that it's an issue with some insurance companies.
Kathy, one more time.
And while I appreciate Director Addington's comments, this isn't an individual home. This is a co-op, and I'm sure some of you may have single-family dwellings. I don't. What my concern is, because I read this whole thing, my concern is that when it is caused by the mutual, regardless of whether you did any alterations, I believe at some point the mutual is responsible for some of the damage that, I'm going to use the word negligence, but I don't mean negligence because I can't think of the appropriate word. There should be some consideration. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
This policy doesn't that wording there that you're talking about, negligence would supersede this. This is just, it's not programs in place to address those. You can't do every single thing at once, the whole community at once. So your annual programs that you have that show that you are actively working on improving your plumbing or whatever else that might damage, cause damage, that shows that a non-negligence point of view, unless there is something specific that we knew about that particular issue and, looked the other way and did nothing about it, that's different. If there is a negligence issue, then the member has the right to, take you to court.
Mary has been waiting patiently.
It's along the lines of the allowance for the damage by HOA to the resident. And so you have an allowance. What percentage is it of the total bill that the resident
It's not a
incurs?
percentage. It is equal to the amount of money that the mutual would spend. Say the dining room carpet was damaged and could not be cleaned. So it needs to be replaced. So you would get they would get a reimbursement for the exact cost to remove, replace, and install just the dining room carpet area and baseboard that it would cost the mutual to put in standard carpet and baseboard. They would get that amount, not to replace all of the carpet. So even though it matches the living room, it would be standard grade with a seam just into the area that is damaged, the room size. And there is cost. We have the cost for the vinyl, the carpet, the countertops, things like that. There's already standard costs that we have in place.
Okay. Any more questions for her?
No,
No? Okay. Paul, you had your...
Yes, we have Dick Rader for a member comment.
Oh, okay.
The emphasis in the discussion is on alterations, and I understand that perfectly. But there's another aspect, and that's personal property. Property that has nothing to do with remodeling. What happens if furniture, TV set, computer gets damaged? So I think that you have to consider that as well in your discussions, because basically you're just talking about alterations, and I understand that. But what about this other stuff?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rader. That is listed in here, and there's a definition for what personal property is in the beginning of the policy. And under member responsibility, personal property is listed as being the full responsibility of the member, resident, lessee, guest, whoever is in there at the time the damage occurs to their items. And that is also specified, I believe, in your general conditions.
Okay, we have a motion. Let's vote on this, please. Come on, machine. One more.
Still waiting on Anthony.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
All right, motion does
Thank you.
pass. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Thank you for your time. Let's go back.
It's the last
New
big
business.
page.
United Committee reports.
Number.
Whoops, I'm sorry. This goes 12B. We moved 12B. That's
Yes,
correct.
it's the recommendation to deny the common area landscape alteration request at 2037D via Mariposa East.
Wait a minute.
That was moved from consent calendar to
Yes.
new business.
Yeah, we put it on.
Okay, it was originally which one?
It was originally
10B2?
10B2.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Do we have papers on that? No.
We just have the initial resolution on that
Okay.
one.
Okay.
But there are,
Yes, it was, so it will be 10B2 in your packets that you
Right.
have in front of you.
The pink page.
And staff is here to answer any questions you guys may have.
Do we have something, a statement from the resident?
yeah, so do you want, do the proper procedure and have resolution read first, then we can go to the member
Okay, yeah.
email?
Okay, we'll do that during discussion. Okay. You got that one, Maggie?
Okay, whereas on April 27, 2026, Landscape Committee reviewed a common area landscape alteration request for a member at 2037D to remove existing turf and install new plants and a privacy hedge intended to reduce visibility and mitigate impacts from Gate 5 traffic. And whereas staff conducted a site inspection following the receipt of the request, observed that the member had already removed common area turf and installed plant material prior to receiving approval, whereas staff placed the request on hold and notified the compliance department, which followed established procedures, and required removal of the unauthorized plant material from the common area. And whereas the requested area is located within common area turf that is highly visible due to its proximity to Gate 5, and whereas the existing irrigation in this system in this area is a recycled water turf zone, and approval of the proposed planting would require modifications inconsistent with the standard design of the common area, and whereas approving alterations after unauthorized installation has occurred would establish an undesirable precedent and may encourage future unapproved modification to common areas, whereas the committee recommends denying the request for the common area landscape alteration located at 2037D via Mariposa East. Now therefore be it resolved, May 12, 2026, the Board of Directors denies the request for the common area landscape alteration at 2037D, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move this resolution.
Elsie has a second? Okay, now we can,
Discussion.
yeah. Did you have to read the,
Yeah, we'll go ahead and read it.
okay.
Okay, this is from the member.
Okay.
Okay.
Dear Laguna Woods Village Board and landscaping members, I am writing to respond to and request modifications to the staff report dated April 27, 2026 regarding the landscape at our unit. We purchased the property in August 2024. At that time, the front and surrounding landscape areas were in significantly neglected condition. There was a dying tree obstructing the street sign, patches of weeds instead of a maintained lawn, and the south side of the unit was cluttered with overgrown potted plants filled with stagnant water contributing to mosquito activity. Additionally, debris such as plastic bottles, broken clay pots, and exposed PVC tubing were present. With HOA permission, we undertook the cleanup ourselves. Neighbors informed us that this area had been in poor condition for approximately 5 years, with little success in contacting the previous owner. Our goal was to improve the appearance of this highly visible entrance to the community and create a more aesthetically pleasing environment. The positive feedback from neighbors and passerby confirmed that these efforts were appreciated. We bring with us years of experience managing land sustainably, including implementing efficient irrigation systems and conserving water in drought-prone areas. Applying this knowledge, we aim to improve both the functionality and appearance of the landscape. During the cleanup process, the landscaping team trimmed the tree to clear the street sign. We also identified ongoing issues with irrigation runoff from the lawn area into the sidewalk, creating a long-standing safety hazard, especially for elderly residents. To help resolve this, I offered to remove the damaged grass to reduce labor demands and facilitate reseeding. During this process, I discovered poor soil conditions, including debris and highly alkaline soil, which is unsustainable for healthy grass growth. Although new grass was later planted, it proved to be unsuitable for proper maintenance. The grass grew unevenly, formed clumps, and could not be effectively mowed. This resulted in an unattractive appearance and additional maintenance challenges. Even the landscaping manager acknowledged the limitations of this grass type. In addition, we experienced a persistent buildup of black dust on our front entry, likely caused by vehicle traffic accelerating near Gate 5. This has raised health concerns, particularly for my wife, who has respiratory sensitivities. To address multiple issues, including water waste, maintenance costs, safety hazards, and dust control, I submitted a request in October to replace the lawn area with drought-tolerant plants or shrubs. I did attach a few relevant photos for before and after showing the poor soil conditions and debris and improvements, but no response or mention at all in this regard. This was really upsetting me because the whole picture was not depicted as you can see in my argument. This approach would provide environmental and practical benefits. While I was encouraged to submit this request, I was advised approval and was uncertain due to the area being classified as common space. Based on suggestions from others, we temporarily planted flowers to improve the appearance while awaiting a decision. Unfortunately, without prior discussion, we later received a compliance notice citing us for unauthorized planting. This has understandably shifted our priorities and limited our ability to continue addressing these concerns extensively. Our request remains simple: approval to install drought-tolerant landscape and potentially a few fast-growing trees. I am fully willing to take responsibility for maintenance and irrigation. The solution would conserve water, reduce maintenance costs, improve safety, and enhance the overall appearance of the area. We respectfully ask the board to consider and approve this request. At this point, it is not only a practical improvement, but also personally meaningful to us.
All right.
Kurt?
Thank you. Yeah, Kirk, you're here? You didn't leave. Well, I think, did Mary have your hand up? Let me get a director comment. Go ahead, please. Let Kirk go first?
Yeah.
Come on down.
Now it's good afternoon, right?
There we
Yes,
go.
you made it.
This one is unique, kind of. The resident put in a request for turf removal. When we went out there to review the request, the turf had already been removed.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then we found that the resident had already planted some plant material. So we took it over to compliance. And in the meantime, they came and planted more plant material across the way, planted fruits and vegetables in common area, which we brought up at the landscape meeting, which they have since pulled out and planted other plant material.
Okay.
So this is just, it's not that simple as they make it sound. The reason why we were pushing for grass is because it's a small patch in a large system of grass watering. So this would be very expensive for us to redo the irrigation system. We would love to have drought-tolerant material, but the irrigation system there doesn't account for it. And like we mentioned, this is recycled water, so we are doing turf in those areas.
All right.
Mary was first.
Right, I actually got a call and I responded and visited two neighbors with questions. And I didn't realize it at the last meeting, but this gentleman was one of those two neighbors with questions. And out of frustration, he was wanting to know how to handle this because, and I did not know all the details. I just knew that it wasn't working. And so I suggested he turned in another landscape request form. And so I think that's what happened. And I understand that the grass needs to stay. So I think that's advisable to deny that part of the request. But there was talk of imposing a fee for the reinstallation of the grass. And so I would simply move that we waive any fees for this and that landscape collaborate with the resident on choosing the new plants so he could feel like he had that. And all of this, especially given his letter, he did due diligence and he waited a long time. There was a high level of personal effort on his part, and he was trying to be conservation oriented. So my feeling is that imposing a fee would be, a bit of a burden.
Is that a motion?
Would you like me to state it briefly? So I would move that we waive any turf reduction fee and that landscape collaborates with the resident in the plant bed, the beds.
Second, okay. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I want to speak to the initial motion. This cannot happen. If this happens once, especially where it is, anybody can do it. Rip it out and plant. Rip it out and plant and say, oh, I'm improving it. I'm improving it. My gosh, look at what I paid. Look what I did. And so 6,323 folks can get out there and rip up anything they want. So I say, no, you cannot do this.
Do we have a motion? I thought we already
Well, we did have a motion, which I read, and that was
That was
this.
an amendment to the motion.
So we're on the amendment to the motion.
The amendment to the motion actually reverses the motion.
This is not true. Sorry, go ahead.
What happened is that this person applied like 8 months ago to have something happen, and it took a long time for this to come around. And so the person was, we had a very long agenda meeting. At the landscape committee meeting, he was not able to stay. So he asked that we come forward and talk about it here. It seems like there was miscommunication on both sides. I agree you can't run out and tear out grass. But it sounds like they had worked in tandem trying to get the grass to grow, and it did not, if that we can verify that story. So what we're trying to do is implement, we will put the grass back in, but we don't want to tell them that they have to pay for the planting. I don't think that's much of a cost. Kurt can talk about that.
Did you want to?
There's no cost or fine attributed to this report or this motion. That's a separate issue with compliance and the executive hearing committee. That's a completely separate issue than this.
Okay. That's right. This was going to have to go to that part of it's going to have to go to compliance and the executive hearings.
It's already in compliance.
Did they make a motion and do it? You heard it yet?
I thought it was already.
No,
We cannot do this.
We can't talk about that.
Yeah, that can't be mentioned. Yeah.
It was mentioned in the landscape committee that they, by a staff member, that they should pay for this. So that's what we were trying to address.
That's all part of the compliance process.
Okay.
Yeah. Jonathan, you had your hand up?
I agree with Secretary Blackwell that the discipline needs to be taught to the people who just take their own action. And if 6,000 people do the same thing, as she brought it up several times today, we go out of control here. So again, I support you as much as I can to standardize all we have and keep it that way.
Kathy? And then Phyllis?
My question, in the reading of the, to deny this, it stated, or in his letter stated, he had approval originally from maintenance. You're shaking your head, no.
We have no documentation of anybody approving him taking out the grass. There may have been, he may have asked starters if he could take away the potted plants.
Okay, and he might have thought, but, okay, all righty, so, thank you.
Okay. Phyllis, please.
Is the amendment to the resolution inappropriate?
I don't know.
In that we are not, there's no fine
Yeah,
attributed to this?
In fact, that has to go upstairs.
Right,
If you
so,
want, yeah.
as of right now, we have a resolution and we have an amendment that's been seconded.
Okay.
Yeah,
do we
so
need
if
to
we can
pull
get
the
Director
amendment?
Sinclair to rescind her amendment, that would be great.
I could have got a quick question about working with the resident about the choice of plants. Is that something that could happen?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. So I would rescind that amendment, yes.
So now we're back to the original resolution. Are we, any more views?
Okay.
Okay, we can vote now, Paul. Thank you, Kurt. Is it Tony?
We're
Yeah,
good.
you got it.
Kathy abstained.
All right, it does
Okay.
pass.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, we can go to committee reports, I believe. Item number 13. Yes, Elsie?
I've been on the board sometimes when we skipped, we just didn't have reports because we were running close on time. I don't know if that's legal or not. But if it is,
We have
We don't have anything in closed session that's like time related. I mean, it's up to the board and the president if he wishes to skip this or not, but we don't have anything that's scheduled with the time.
No, I'm sorry, I was talking like it's 12:14 time as opposed to, I don't know, is it legal to skip reports?
The board would need to agree as a whole.
Well, I would like the finance report is very important.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we want, we can do the treasurer's financial report right now, and you can
Then we
skip
can-
the other ones.
Each person gets 1 minute after that.
There you go. Okay. Tony, yes?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What's the whole object of having these reports? Is to inform people who are smart enough to tune in to see what we're doing. So I know it's burdensome on us, but I think that's the whole idea of having these reports, is to, if people are listening in, to let them know what we've accomplished or not accomplished and when our next meetings are for these reports.
Yep.
Thank you.
I agree. So we're going to go start with Mr.
This is the Casby.
Murad?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the treasury report so in front of you, you have the income statement for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2026. You see revenue of $16.3 million, offset by expenses of $14 million, resulting in a surplus of revenue over expenses of $2.3 million. In this slide, you see the activity of the 3 months ended March 31st relating to the operating fund only. Here you see revenue in the operating fund of $7.8 million for those 3 months, offset by expenses of $7.3 million, resulting in an operating surplus of $500,000. But I would like to remind us all that we did not do full accrual accounting, which means that there are most likely Q1 invoices not accounted for in Q1, but there were also Q4 25 invoices that were recorded in Q1 to the tune of about $460,000. So it is hard to say that we have a surplus until such time that we implement full accrual accounting in the coming quarter, in the June quarter. Next slide. Here you have the full income statement, both operating and reserve funds, showing actual versus budget. As you can see, we have a favorable variance of $1,561,000 at the bottom right. That favorable variance is broken out in two components: $300,000 relating to the operating fund and $1.2 million relating to the reserve fund. So the reserve fund has a favorable $1.2 million, operating is $300,000. So in the next slide, we will see what's happening with that favorable variance. The first two items you see on top, outside services and materials and supplies, relate to reserve. And they explain $1.1 million out of the $1.2 million I just mentioned. So we have favorable variance of $1.1 million because we have delayed work in damage restoration, building maintenance, and roofing work. We had delays in Q4 also, but we are seeing accelerated delays happening in Q1. And because we have delayed work to the tune of $700,000, we have less use of materials and supplies, and also less appliance demand to the tune of about $400,000. So about $250,000 of that has to do with less materials because there is less work, and the rest is less appliance demand. So again, we have a favorable variance because we're not doing the work. The work is being delayed. The next two items, employee compensation and utilities, relate to the operating fund mostly. We have $309,000 favorable in employee compensation because there are some open positions in both landscape and M&C departments, and also some folks being on leave. The utilities has to do mostly with a water overpayment that occurred in late 25, for which we got a credit in Q1 this year. Next slide, please. Here we have the breakdown of non-assessment revenue of about $549,000 for the 3 months ended March 31. As you can see, number one is fees and charges to residents for damage restoration. That's number one at 29%. Investment income comes second at 24%, and the laundry room at 12%. To answer Director Liberatori's question, we have revenue of about $66,000 a quarter from our laundry rooms, which is $22,000 a month on average. And we spent $35,000 a month in costs, in expenses, on a monthly basis, which means we have a $13,000 loss every month. So what's going to happen with the pilot is that we will forego the $22,000 a month for those locations. It's just a pro rata for those locations. So our cost is going to increase because we don't have that cost recovery during the pilot. Next slide, please. Here we have non-assessment revenue, actual versus budget. So the second column from the left shows you the 549K, which is less than budgeted 609. So we have an unfavorable variance, actually favorable variance of $60,000, but it's a small amount. It's essentially relating to investment income and chargebacks. Next slide, please. Here we have the breakdown of expenses of $14 million. And as you can see, if you exclude property taxes, which is not really an expense, if you add outside services and employee compensation, you get 44%, which is down from 48% in Q4. So that means we have less compensation and outside services in the March quarter because we have more delays, as I just mentioned before, for work in Q1 compared to Q4. Next slide, please. Here you have the year-to-date expenses of $14 million compared to budget of $15.7 million. So we have a favorable variance, but as I mentioned, this favorable variance has to do with delayed work and open positions. Next slide, please. Here we show the progression of our reserve, starting the year with $13.2 million. We had increased contributions, I'm happy to report, which is increasing our reserve fund. We also had less usage of the reserve because of these delays I mentioned before, resulting in a higher balance of $15 million for the reserve and almost $800,000 in the contingency. So if you look in the next slide at the levels of our reserve and contingency fund, you see that we are at 15.7 million, edging higher and closer to that black line you see, which is the average level for the last 5 years of almost 17 million. So we are the highest since 2024 and edging ever closer to the 17 million mark. But again, one of the reasons why we are going higher is because we have delayed work. So we want to actually get the work done and also increase the reserve, which is not happening right now. But nevertheless, the contributions are getting higher and the reserve is getting healthier. Next slide, please. Here we have the activity of our borrowings from the reserve fund. We borrowed $4.5 million last November, which we paid back by the end of March. But don't get too cheerful, though. We borrowed $6.5 million last month, which will be repaid this upcoming November. Last slide, please. Here you see the resale activity. I have the months, the activity for April, so I can give you April instead of March. So as of the end of April, we had 90 resale transactions in United versus 106 in the same period last year, which is a decrease of 15%. But while the number of resale transactions is down, the average sale price is up from $400,000 last year to $407,000 this year. So again, fewer transactions, but a higher average price.
Excuse me. Mine doesn't have these numbers.
Yes, because I'm giving you the April numbers instead of the March that are
Okay.
in
Right. Okay, thank you.
I figure since I have April, I'll give you April.
Okay.
Right.
So to
It's not
recap,
printed, but-
fewer resale transactions, but a higher average sale price. There's an impact, of course, because we have less resale transactions. When we looked at the March numbers for GRF, the transfer facilities fees were down by $750,000 compared to budget as of the end of March because of lower resale transactions both in United and Third. But while resale transactions are down, rental transactions are up. At the end of March, we have 923 rentals versus 899 last year, which is an increase to 14.6% rental percentage versus 14.2 last year. So this is a trend we've seen over the last several quarters where we are trending down in terms of resales, but trending up in terms of rentals. And that's my report. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Maggie, you have a question?
But rentals don't bring us any income.
We could change that, but as of now, we're not looking into it.
I don't.
We'll
We can ask that in close.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Murad. Tony, AC and S.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had our meeting, and just to let you know that on the 21st of this month, we're going to have another meeting, and in the morning, we'll be on TV6 to go through step by step for residents and how to do alterations. So that'll be in the morning on TV6, and then in the afternoon, 9:30 here, we'll have a meeting in this room to go over it. And invite people who have any questions about alterations, please attend.
I think that is a great topic. Yes. All right. Now you get to cover the Elsie. Do you have something regarding the member hearings?
I think, okay, member hearings, first, it's a closed meeting, they're closed hearings. I can't tell you, or I'd have to kill you.
There you go.
However, everybody on that, you never saw people checking, make sure their hot water, the hot water heater isn't leaking. We all get very paranoid about requesting, it's like, we get a lot of damage restoration cases, and some of them are pretty incredible.
I know they're working hard on that stopper project
Well,
that
it's-
detects the leaks.
Oh, that, well, yeah, we're talking $15,000, $10,000. Yeah, especially when the damage, whatever's involved, goes to another unit. It's just phenomenal. Anyway, nothing like a turn on that committee to make you into a very cautious share owner.
All right, governing docs reviewed. Maggie?
Right. Okay, we talked about solar panels, or somebody brought it up. We talked about damage restoration policy. We need to promote again somewhere, and in every Friday thing, is the little, I want to call them ladybugs that you hide around your place that are water detectors. They're available for under $15 at our neighbor across the street there. And if you put them under or near your refrigerator, or under or near your washing machine if you have one in your house, you can save yourself a whole bunch of money for $30. So we should push that.
Okay, thank you. Director Quam, Landscape Committee?
We have hired a contractor to come in and look at our irrigation system and how we can possibly save additional funds. And we're really looking forward to the study, and hopefully they will be coming back with information that will help us on our costs.
All right. Maintenance and construction, that would be me. We met on the 22nd. Nothing out of the usual on this meeting. The next meeting will be on June 24th. Tony, we have Energy and Subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pretty good meeting, and I met people, but we don't have a date right now for our next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have the Resident Advisory Committee. Again, Tony.
Resident advisor will be this Thursday at 4 p.m. in the Elm Room. We don't use Robert's Rules, so come and let us hear about what you're concerned about. Thank you.
All right. Ramad, GRF Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The GRF Finance Committee met on May 8th, 2026, and reviewed and approved the March 31 financial statements, and also approved a $500,000 appropriation to finish the ERP implementation. The next meeting will occur on June 17, 26.
My question is, why aren't those minutes in here? If you met on May 8th, we've got April 15th in this.
So our package wasn't completed until like last Thursday, and it takes staff a couple weeks for them to get the minutes
Oh,
reviewed
okay.
and signed and everything, so that's why it's not in there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Elsie, we have you on Community Activities Committee.
Oh, my. I had a nice report all ready to go, but it's a lot longer than a minute. So I'll just say it was a very interesting, very lively meeting, and
What came out
in the next meeting, I'm sorry?
what was the best thing that happened on that meeting?
Well, actually, it was the chair's opening remarks. They were just awesome. but there was, well, okay, there were operating rules review of the golf course dress code passed.
Okay.
There was clubhouse 5 fitness rental fees passed.
Okay.
That's a little, well, I had a thing, but I'm trying to be fast here. Junior, oh, this is really good. The junior guest rate, I covered this kind of last month. Junior guest rate was finalized for the par 3 course at $10 for those under 18
All
years
right.
old. Yeah, that was pretty cool, and that was unanimous. And I already-
Okay.
Well, just stay
Thank
stopped.
you.
because
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
these were
Thank
reported
you.
last month because these
Yeah.
were just approved last week during our GRF meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was
Okay.
more discussion.
So we've heard a lot of this. Okay,
Right.
then let's go on. Director Quam, GRF.
Come to
landscape.
the meeting tomorrow afternoon at 1:30
Ooh,
if you are interested.
Okay.
that's a good meeting. Now we'll go to Jonathan, Maintenance and Construction Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have met on April 20th, and there was a lot of discussion regarding the Building E, and lots of poses, lots of no's and yeses and so on, and it's still going. It's not that issue yet. And the next meeting will be on June 10 at 1:30.
Thank you. Space Planning Ad hoc, that is myself, and that was a really good meeting. They're doing a lot of research on all of our property, and we'll get a pretty neat report about the use and non-use of our property. Mobile and Vehicles Committee, Tony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to let people know that the new Arbor route runs Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 4 times a day, 10, 11, 12, and 2. So if you want to try some new stores or some new restaurants, it's Clubhouse 1 and the old, our bus route 5 and 6 is now number 3. And on those days, it's called C3, and it will take you to the Arbor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And that is, we're getting good results from that route. Okay, let's go to Kathy. You have broadband, anything?
Yes, now, broadband, we met on March the 23rd, and I reported everything in the April meeting, so nothing else to report. And our next meeting is scheduled for May the 28th at 1:30 in this room.
Thank you. Elsie, Village Traffic Hearings, are they still running those stop signs?
Excuse,
Whoops, I'm sorry. I thought you
that
were
was
done.
broadband, we haven't done security.
Oop,
Yep. 14F.
I skipped one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's me
Security
again.
and community access.
Okay, so
Yes.
we had a very interesting security meeting. I have several pages of notes, which I will cut back on, but it is important. Some of the issues that we covered, we had a number of residents who walk late at night, and depending on which gate they're closest to, vehicles are going faster than the 25 mile an hour. And staff, Eric is going to look into several areas where we could put in some crosswalks going across as opposed to the ones that go this way.
Oh.
And several of us sent in some pictures, and I understand he is going to report on that at the next security meeting or bring it to the GRF board. Another issue that was of concern is in our cul-de-sacs, we have written on the street, stop. A number of residents are parking over the stop sign up to the sidewalk, and they can't necessarily see from the right or the left, and it's very dangerous. So several people requested that we put in red curbs by those stop signs. We did investigate, I believe there's AB 413, that when there is in the GRF section where there is an actual stop sign, you have it up to 14 feet of red curb. But because the cul-de-sacs are the property of the United Mutual, we have to go by our own governing documents. So that's something that I think we were going to look into to determine in some of the more dangerous areas where you cannot, where the stop signs aren't there and you can't really see and the cars go really fast. So I do have a few others, but I think I'm going to stop there. So we had met on April the 22nd. Our next meeting is going to be June the 24th here in this boardroom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now, Elsie, traffic.
They're still speeding, and our staff is still on the job, and darn it, I was going to tell you when the next one was. You can't come anyway.
Next meeting is going to be May 20th.
I just found it. But thank you, Mr. Wynn. It's on May 20th, but you can't come anyway. So that's my report. It's a closed meeting, confidentiality.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Tony, we have disaster preparedness.
Yes, disaster preparedness has been reorganized, and Steve Parsons from Third has taken the lead on that. And so I hope that people will give us more attention. We just have a new charter. It's 20 items on the charter, so join us. And I don't have that meeting update here with me.
Okay.
Staff can help me, I don't know.
Looks like the next meeting's
May 26th.
May 26th.
At 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom.
9:30 in this boardroom. That is a very important meeting. Come and please share. Okay, IT. Jonathan.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. We met in March 27, and also outside of the usual meetings, we met with the new fiber optics group in their own facility. Very interesting. It seems like the fiber optics is very well planned so far throughout the community. From the south side of the village, they already installed quite a bit. I don't have the percentage of the completed installation of the new equipment into the units, but apparently, and according to the thing, they are on the schedule.
Right. I actually had a little bit of a report on this, that they're down to less than 10%, and a lot of that is going back to residents that weren't available to get it done. So they're looking good.
That's
for
correct.
United.
Yeah, the plan is to complete the package by the end of this year.
Great.
And perhaps before that. Our next meeting is in May 29 at 1:30 p.m.
All right. Energy, GRF Energy Ad hoc. Do we have anything from that, Kathy?
Yes. We met originally on on March the 9th, and I was unprepared for the April meeting, so I do have some information about that. That was actually, I believe, our first meeting that we had, and we established a charter. And in the future, we want to bring up EV charging stations and possible solar panels. And I don't think we need that. Our next meeting will be held on May 18th at 9:30 in this room.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question? What
Yes,
kind of
ma'am.
solar panels?
Pardon me?
What kind of solar panels?
They're talking about we currently have solar panels on a number of buildings. And Tony has brought up in several meetings before I think it was Tony, about putting solar panels on some more of our buildings to help cut costs. And there was an initial fee and a rebate through the government, which I believe will end this year. So I don't think we'll get that. But it should help out with our electric bill. So these are things that at the next meeting next week, we're going to talk about and see what we can do to cut some costs if possible.
May 18th.
Thank you. May 18th at 9:30.
Mary, I think we have a land use ad hoc. I don't know if you guys,
Yes, it's been happening.
It's happening.
We had our second meeting on April 24th. We meet next on May 22nd. We've accomplished voting in a name, the Strategic Land Use Ad Hoc Committee, and the group is currently working on the mission statement.
perfect. Thank you. All right. Oh, yes, Phyllis.
In addition to the Land Use Ad Hoc Committee working on approving a mission statement, we are also working on approving a scope of work statement.
Perfect.
That's right.
Good to see that coming together. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting committee and very interesting reports. All right. Water conservation. Director Kwong.
We are in the process of developing our agenda, and we'll try to meet before the July 30th time printed here. So,
Okay. That's another committee that is going to go strong. All right. Number 15, future agenda items. Do we have any future agenda items that we can
Yes,
bring up?
the item that was on 28 days, which would be the damage and restoration policy and related documents. So that's going to be for final approval next month.
Okay. Director comments, we have 2 minutes each if you'd like to participate, starting with Phyllis. Mary? Jonathan?
Just want to say I love this group. I think it's the most incredible and most productive that I have heard throughout the history of this community. From the people who lived here and still here, they telling me they see more improvements, and they see the work is being done more on time, and their response time is getting better, and it's everything looks much better than ever before. So I'm very proud to be a part of this group.
Kathy?
No comments.
Tony?
Mr. President, thank you. I have nothing.
Sue? You pass? Over here, Maggie?
No comment.
No comment. Elsie? No comment. All right, I'm going to say a real quick thing is if you don't have time or make time, you do your walks, go down to Aliso Creek. They've done a great job on that creek. It is really nice, and chances are you'll even get to see a coyote. All right, I have stories, believe me, every day this week. And bring your dogs. Okay, we're going to do a recess right now. We will meet upstairs at
1:15, half an hour.
1:15, half hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you.